Hello friends, this is Scott, and again I'm back down at the homestead. This is one of the many videos that I filmed during the last week and a half I was down here, and taking a look at the 3 cats that I officially, I guess, own. There's several others that come and visit, but yeah, I'm having to feed these cats a lot, and hopefully today's project will help with some of those feed expenses. And this is what I'm talking about right here, is I'm looking at my compost area and it's a problem. And I'll explain what that problem is here in a minute. But first step I always got to do is I'm going to be burning some stuff, so I got to get the burn barrel going. And I found out that coconut oil on a napkin is a really good fire starter. So got it started with a couple matches, and I started adding a little bit of twigs and got to get it hot. And this is today's project, is I'm looking at my compost bin. Now this is a 3-bin compost system that's designed to move compost from bin to bin. It's got removable slats. I haven't been using this one, though, for that purpose. It's just been kind of sitting here being an eyesore, and I've been using it to store all my weeds and grass clippings and sod that I've dug out, and I've just kind of thrown it in here just to sit for a while until it's ready to break down and actually screen for some compost. So today is the day. But my real motivation for cleaning out this area is the problems that I've had in the garden along this wall. I thought the wall would be a great place to put stuff, put the worm bin, the tire worm bin, as well as this compost system. But it's really not, for a couple reasons. First, my cow friends are bugging me, so I've got to give them a little bit of corn stalks from the garden. And yeah, they're my best friends now, so they're not scared of me at all. But getting back to the compost bin, the reason I want to move this bin is the problems I'm having with insects, as well as providing homes for rodents. Now that I had the chicken coop and the pen up against this wall, there's problems. And again, the insects were a big problem in the garden, but the rodents are becoming a bigger problem. And I have plenty of cats to take care of those rodents, but they can't do much when they can't get to the rodents. And putting a bin and the tires up against the wall is not a very good idea. Again, it's a great breeding ground for bugs, and the chickens can't get to those either, but it's a bigger breeding ground for mice, and so I've got to get this moved. So I'm thinking I got to give the cats a fighting chance to do their job, and I've got to let the mice have a harder time just living the easy life. So I got to move the stuff out of this bin first, and I'm going to screen it. And again, this is my compost screen, which is, other than my hori that I broke recently, is my most used tool, I think, in the garden. And there's lots of good dirt in here. Again, these were all just the weeds that I've been pulling and sod and things over the last couple of years. I've just thrown in here just to give it time to die and break down. But now I've got to use this stuff, and it's a resource. And so it's kind of a pain. There's a lot of stuff in here that isn't broken down or ready to be used, but you'll be amazed here in a minute when I show you what the screen compost looks like. So it's some pretty good stuff. But yeah, it's very dry. I haven't obviously watered any of this, but moisture is a big part of composting, and again, that's something else I've neglected to do is water this. But I was kind of ignoring it because I wasn't using it in its true form. This bin, again, is designed to be an active composter, but it did still turn out some good stuff. And again, this isn't really compost. This is just soil that was in the weeds. So anyway, but as you can see here, I'm going to show you a lot of the insect life that's living in here. And again, I was fighting a lot of bugs this year, and I don't see many earwigs in here right now, but you see centipedes and millipedes and whatever else there are in here, and spiders. So the chickens love to eat these, but they can't get to them. And as we look into the bin a little further, there's more pill bugs. So yeah, this is plenty of food for the chickens that they'll enjoy eating, but again, they can't get to it if it's all piled up against that wall. So anyway, the first screened wheelbarrow full I'm going to use right here, and you see a little biochar there that I've also got in this area. Next year, I'm going to be planting asparagus there. And so there's more amendments I'm going to put. But got through the first bin, and then now I'm looking at the second bin. Got to tackle that, and I started screening that, and I'm using that for another project, which is going to be the blackberries, which will be another video. So I did grow some blackberries and propagate some blackberries from my Salt Lake home, and I'll put them there. But got the fire roaring. And so I'm definitely burning up as much of the dead stuff as I can, which will help with some of the insects. But in the second bin, I started to get down toward the bottom, and I started finding better soil. It was more sodish. So yeah, I'm excited to screen this material and see what's in it. And what I found was worms. That's something this garden has been lacking. So yeah, there's a lot of worms in this bin. So again, I'm going to take this wheelbarrow full, and I'm going to use it for the blackberries that I'm going to be planting today also. But that'll be, again, another future video. We'll see when that video comes out. But again, I did a lot of projects down here in the last week and a half, and I'm just going to try to document them all and get them out to you as I can. And there's Theo, and he was kind of hanging out, watching this whole process. And anytime I stopped, they all want attention. But I just wish he'd get to work catching mice. But it also was able to get rid of some of these big old hunks of this elm that I had chopped up that I was not able to chop. So I'm going to burn up some of that, get rid of it. So there's 2 bins down, all screened out, and just got 1 left. And again, you can kind of take a better look at those removable slats there. They just slip down in those little crevices in the front, and it holds the material back. Wasn't a lot of material here, mostly just weeds that I needed to burn, and again, bugs. So burning them was a good idea. That's what's left of what didn't screen through. So that I need to use. And I use some of it for in the chicken pen, let the chickens enjoy the insects and to scratch through this material. And yeah, the chickens are enjoying the house. And I'll show you how much dirt I got out of this screened. It wasn't a ton, but I got enough, again, for a couple wheelbarrows for the future asparagus bed there. And I'll get some horse manure and stuff I'm going to put there. That'll be a spring planting project. As we walk up the garden hill here, you can see there's about 3 or 4 wheelbarrows full for the blackberries. So that's where I'm going to be planting a couple blackberry bushes that I have propagated. So after I got the bin removed, it's not heavy. It's all made out of cedar. So it's pretty easy to move. And I built these as a business called Urban Compost Systems back when I was doing farmers markets. And I sold a lot of these bins to people. Again, it's good exercise, and it's designed to be an active hot composting system. But as I got older, I kind of got away from that, and I went to the more just static in-ground bin. But if I really truly want to make compost, this is the type of bin you want to use. 3 bin or even bigger. I'd say 5 bin would probably be perfect. But again, it's a little worse for wear. This one was at the school garden. They weren't using it, so the principal wanted me to get rid of it. So I built this one probably 13 years ago, maybe. And so it's still in pretty good shape. Still pretty sturdy, but the wire is kind of busted up on the sides, but the slats are still good. I think I replaced the slats once in those, approximately 13 years. So yeah, it works real nice, and it is a very useful tool if you're going to use it for its purpose. I might just use it to store leaves this year. I'm not sure. So I do need to collect a lot of leaves this fall, because you got to have brown and you got to have green to do compost, and the only time you seem to have much brown is in the fall, so you got to save them. You got to find them, collect them, and store them, so you can use them all during the growing season, because there's usually green grass and things like that during the warmer months. Those are the ingredients, along with air and water, that you need to make compost. So yeah, I'll be using that again, I think, in the future to make compost. But that leaves me with this area. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do with the tires and the worm. That's the worm compost bin. That's still a problem with insects and mice. Housing mice in there. So I'll be moving that out too and using that material probably for the asparagus. It's got a lot of good cow manure in there. But anywhere I put fresh dirt, the chickens are all over it, and they're looking for the worms that I showed you earlier. And so they're scratching through it. And yeah, they help me rake it out too, because they'll spread this out pretty good. So yeah, I'm down to 4 chickens and 1 sick. So they're not laying any eggs. So I definitely have to get some new troops next year to get that get my composting system going again, and to actually get some eggs, because these are all freeloaders at the moment. But so there's a look at my nice little fire. The cows are very interested in the new bin, and I'm looking at this new area of what I can potentially do gardening wise here, because I'm not going to put any more infrastructure there. I'm just going to I'll plant something there. We'll figure it out. But cats are already on the prowl, and they now have the ability to hopefully do their job, which is to catch mice here. And that cat's looking at that worm bin, because there's a little bit of a hole right there. And if you look real closely, I think I can see a little bit of movement. I think I see an eye and a nose. So yeah, these mice are not going to stand a chance with these cats having access to them. So, and then the chickens, after they're done looking for worms, they've got to do a little bit of dust bathing. And anytime you provide any fresh, loose soil, they're all about enjoying that and getting themselves a nice bath. But there's a look of where the bin placement is. I don't know if I'll leave it there, but the cows are very interested, licking the wire. I don't know why they're doing that, but they're enjoying it too. So anyway, well, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.